Hello neighbor, this is Curt with eTrailer, and today we're taking a look at the Thule T2 Pro XTR, and we're going to see how it fits and how it works with our 2025 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. So the T2 Pro XTR is a wheel-mounted bike carrier that's going to allow up to 60 pounds per tray. So it will be able to accommodate a lot of your e-bikes that are out there on the market. It is going to feature a rear wheel mount that can slide back and forth to accommodate the different size wheelbases that you have. And it's also going to have an integrated cable lock in each of the hook and arm mechanisms that can wrap around your frame and attach here. And these are going to be key-to-like through this keyhole under here to our locking mechanism here that's going to keep it locked into your hitch. Now, as far as how it fits on the Wrangler Unlimited, we should cover a few bases, only because there's a lot of variety as far as what you could put on your Jeep to make this bike rack fit a little differently. First, we'll talk about the hitch. Now, most of the hitches that we've tried on the Wrangler Unlimited, the end of the hitch receiver actually was below or behind the back of the bumper. This is a hitch that's available here at eTrailer from Draw-Tite, and this hitch actually extends an inch past the bumper, which really helps you out with your hitch accessories as far as clearing your rear tire mount. Now, the thing about the spare tire is that this one that we have here is a 255/70 R18. So you may have a different size tire on your Wrangler Unlimited, but for the purposes of scale, that's what we have on here, along with a hitch that extends 1 inch out of the bumper. So with all that said, as you can see, we have plenty of clearance between the bike and the back of the vehicle. Even if we're on rougher terrain, we're really in no danger of these making contact with each other. But like with any platform hitch bike rack, there are going to be some obstructions to our visibility. One, this bike rack keeps your bike pretty high up off the ground. And this is a bike with a small frame. So as you can imagine, some of the bigger bikes out there, you are going to be able to see them out your rear window pretty plainly. The other thing that is going to be partially blocked is going to be our taillights. That, of course, is going to depend on what kind of wheels you have. As far as this bike goes, through the spokes, they're pretty visible. Your license plate might be partially obstructed from other drivers, but the main thing that I wanted to touch base on is your rear view camera. Because as you can see, there's an awful lot going on back here, and if you're not able to see out of that rear view camera while you're reversing, this could cause some issues. So let's take a measurement and see exactly what kind of footprint this is leaving behind our bumper. So the T2 Pro XTR is going to extend 41 inches out from your bumper. That's quite a decent amount, so be mindful of that whenever you're reversing into a tight space or trying to parallel park. The other thing we're going to take a look at is ground clearance. Now, to the end of the rack here, we've got 29 inches of ground clearance, and to this little kind of bumper knob underneath here, we've got 26.5. That should be more than enough ground clearance for you to tackle anything that comes your way. However, because this is held a bit further away from the bumper, it's a good thing to keep in mind whenever you come upon a steep incline or driveway. The other thing I had mentioned earlier, that this bike rack can accommodate bikes up to 60 pounds each. So it's a good idea to understand just how high you're going to have to lift it in order to get it up onto the rack. So whatever your bike weighs, make sure that you're comfortable lifting it at least 31.5 inches in order to get it onto the front tray, and 32 inches in order to get it onto the rearmost tray. Now, if you do have a heavier bike, like an e-bike, there is no available ramp for this bike rack. However, Thule does have a bike rack called the Thule Verse. There is a ramp that you can get with it. It operates very, very similar to the T2 Pro XTR. So if that is the case, I would actually recommend you take a look at the Thule Verse. Now, the T2 Pro XTR does have a tilt-away option to get into the cargo area. However, because of the nature of the Wrangler Unlimited, the way that it opens, it swings open, there really isn't any clearance to make that happen. As you can see, even without a bike on it, this section of the bike rack comes above the bottom of our cargo door, and therefore we wouldn't be able to get it open and get to it. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and show you now how to load and unload it. There are 2 points of contact. We have our arm and hook here, and we have a ratcheting wheel strap on our rear wheel cup that also has a rubber pad on it to help protect your wheel. So we're going to start by disengaging that by lifting up. Oh, not lifting up. That actually is what ratchets it tighter. By pushing in this button, releasing the strap. We're going to go ahead and kind of feed this through the other side and clear it out of the way. Then we're going to brace the frame of our bike so it doesn't tip over. We have a trigger right here on our handle. We're going to go ahead and depress that, lift our hook all the way up, and clear that front wheel. At this point, we're able to lift our bike off of the rack, set it down, and now we're ready to hit the trail. Now, this rack is made out of a powder-coated steel, which while it's going to make it very corrosion and rust resistant, it's also going to make it pretty heavy, weighing in at about 52 pounds. So it's not really going to be something you're probably going to want to be taking in and out of your hitch all the time in between rides. Luckily, it does have a stowaway position. We're going to use that same handle down here, and we're just going to lift up against the back of the vehicle instead of letting it fall. And now we've got a good stowaway position. We've significantly reduced that footprint in the back, and it does press up pretty tight against the back of the vehicle. So as you can see here, it does make contact with the sidewall of our spare tire. That might worry me a little bit, but as long as you've got the anti-rattle mechanism pretty tight in here, so you're not going to get much movement, I wouldn't expect this to rub back and forth too much against here. But if you wanted to pad that with something like a piece of foam or something like that just to be safe and keep your spare tire in good shape, that could be something that you could do. So with it in the stowaway position, we've knocked that footprint down to 18.5 inches. And that's a significant decrease from where we were before. However, we do still have some blockage back here. We have regained complete visibility out of our rear window, but we are going to have some partial blockage on our taillights, our license plate, and complete blockage on our rear view camera. So the T2 Pro XTR is a solid option for your Wrangler Unlimited, save for the fact that it does keep the bike pretty high off the ground. It also has no available ramp to assist you with that. We do make a little bit of contact here on the spare tire, which means if you had a different size tire, maybe a wider one, we wouldn't be able to get it into this position at all. All of these are reasons for me to again recommend the Thule Verse. Not only does it have the ramp, it also can clear this in its stowaway position, and there's a light kit available for it so that your taillights and your license plate can be visible to other drivers on the road. But if after watching this video you do decide to go with the T2 Pro XTR and you get it and you're able to use it a few times, please share with us what you think about it in the comments below. We'd love to share your experience with other neighbors so they can make the best decision for themselves. Once again, this is Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.